Good morning, everybody. I'm Montana Attorney General Austin Knudsen. At this time, we felt it was appropriate after about a 48-hour investigation to go ahead and give the public an update on what's going on, and the media as well. At this point, we have identified our suspect as well as the 4 victims. So as you all know, at approximately 10:30, 10:40 in the morning on Friday, our suspect, Michael Paul Brown, entered the Owl Bar here in Anaconda. And after a brief series of actions, opened fire and shot and killed 4 local residents here in Anaconda. First of all, I want to offer our deepest and sincere condolences to the community of Anaconda, to the family and friends of these victims. This is just absolutely horrific. Something like we haven't seen in the state of Montana, and thankfully we do not see these things very often in the state of Montana. At this point, I can confirm the names of our victims. 59-year-old Daniel Edwin Bailey, who was a patron at the bar that day. 64-year-old Nancy Loretta Kelly, who was the employee and bartender that morning. 70-year-old David Allen Leach, who was also a patron that morning. And finally, 74-year-old Tony Wayne Palm. All of the victims were from here in Anaconda. At this point, I also want to point out the fact that we've got a tremendous law enforcement response that's responded here in Anaconda. I know at one point yesterday we had over 250 boots on the ground that were helping out with the manhunt and engaged trying to find this suspect. At this point, our suspect is still at large. And I'll go ahead and say this right now. We've got tremendous cooperation from Homeland Security, from our federal partners, the FBI, the U.S. Marshal Service. We want to find this guy. This is a dangerous individual who has committed an absolutely heinous crime against this community and these victims. I'll go ahead and announce right now that at this time we have a $7,500 reward, and that's just the initial reward. I'll also state that. But we have a $7,500 reward for any information that would lead us to Michael Paul Brown. We also have set up a hotline through the U.S. Marshal Service. This is really easy. 1-877-WANTED-2, the number 2. I'll give that number, 1-877-926-8332. If you have any information that would help us get to the whereabouts of our suspect, please use that number. Again, I'm going to point out we had just a tremendous local, statewide, and federal law enforcement presence to the scene. I could read off the entire list of all the agencies, but we'd be here for a while. But this is what we do in Montana. We step up, we help our neighbors, we come in, and I also want to thank the feds. The federal agencies have been tremendous help here. There have been a lot of assets. We've got air assets, ground assets. We're going to catch this guy. This is still absolutely priority number 1. Probably in the next 24 hours, you're going to see the law enforcement response shift a little bit. This is absolutely still priority number 1 to find this suspect. But we've got a lot of resources here in Anaconda. They've been here for about 48 hours. They've got home agencies. It's still tourist season in western Montana, so we're not going to have as many resources here focused on the really sharp focused search. You're going to see that stance shift a little bit, but this is going to turn into a fugitive location operation at this point. So that's our update at this point. I'm happy to take a couple of questions as long as we stay cogent to the situation.
Yesterday you guys released an image, and it was causing a lot of people to ask if that image was taken when he was at the scene, or if he was in another incident because of wearing any clothes.
So the question has to do with the image that was released by the Montana Department of Justice yesterday. It showed the individual largely naked in his underwear and his socks, I believe. That was relatively soon after the crime was committed. We know he went to another location not far away. He got rid of some personal belongings, and he got rid of his clothes. We have very good reason to believe that he is clothed. He does have shoes, and he's probably able to get around. There was some time there where the vehicle he ended up grabbing was loaded full of equipment. It was not his vehicle; it was a stolen vehicle, but there was camping equipment in it. We believe there was some clothing in it. So at this point, we have every reason to believe the suspect is fully clothed, shoes on his feet, able to get around.
When's the last time he was seen by law enforcement?
I couldn't answer that question. I don't know that particularly. I think there was a pursuit roughly around noon on Friday. There was some confusion because there were two white vehicles that were involved. There was some federal assets that were involved in that pursuit. But I believe that was the last law enforcement contact, was at roughly noon, 12:30, right around that time Friday.
Has anybody else been arrested or questioned in relation to helping Michael Brown out?
At this point, I mean, all options are on the table. The investigation is still ongoing. I don't have any specifics about that, but definitely the investigation is continuing. Let's grab somebody else.
What type of firearm did he use for the crime, and does he believe he still has that?
So we can confirm that it was a rifle. At this point, I'm not going to give out a bunch of more information about that. We do know the individual had access to firearms. We believe he is probably still armed and dangerous. But we can confirm that it was a rifle that was used on the scene.
You know where it was?
We believe it was one of his own personal rifles.
Do you know the victim?
I don't have any information about that. The question was, did you know the victims? Sprinklers are wonderful. From what I have gathered, it sounds like he was a regular at this establishment. He literally lived next door. I think it's likely that he knew the bartender and these patrons, which makes this even more heinous.
So if he has committed suicide, are y'all using cadaver dogs to look for him?
We've got multiple assets up. We're exploring every option here. Yeah. Could he have committed suicide or be dead? Yep. But we are acting under the assumption that he is alive, well armed, and extremely dangerous.
Have there been previous reports on Mr. Brown to the local police? Has he had citations here?
The only information I have about that is I believe there probably is some criminal record. I think he's known to local law enforcement. That's all public record. If he's got an arrest warrant or arrest records out there, but I don't have any specific information about that right now.
Is the search area still the same as it was Friday and Saturday?
Yes.
I've heard from local people, especially one man who said he brought Michael hunting when he was a child. They said that area is where he would go to hunt. Do you have people that are familiar with the area that they're searching for him and might know if he had camped out or made a stash or something?
I can tell you that we've got very detailed information on the search area. We've got a lot of expertise, a lot of knowledge of the area. We've got every cabin, every hunting site that's known up there pinned, and there is a tremendous number of assets focused on searching that area.
Is there a sense of whether
Too many.
Is there a sense of whether this was an impulsive act or a planned act?
Don't have any information about that this time. We don't know.
Concerns he might come back into town?
Absolutely, there's concerns he might come back into town. By all indications, this is an unstable individual who walked in and murdered 4 people in cold blood for no reason whatsoever. So there absolutely is concern for the public. Again, I'm going to stress, we believe this is an armed and extremely dangerous individual. I'm going to ask the public to be vigilant. This is still Montana. Montanans know how to take care of themselves. But please, if you have any sightings, call 911. If you see anything that looks out of the ordinary, strange, call 911. If you have a tip, call that tip line, 1-877-WANTED, and the number 2, 1-877-926-8332. But if you see something local, call 911. Get us out there, even if you're not sure.
Does infrared work only at night? Or does that work in the daytime?
No, thermal works at daytime also.
Okay.
And those assets are deployed. They're in the air.
Okay.
Yep.
I know you stressed there were a lot of boots on the ground since the search began. Are we still using air resources at this time? For the
Yes,
search?
we still have air resources in the air from some of our federal partners. from some of our local neighboring partners. And again, this is a testament to Montana and to Montana law enforcement. Something like this happens, tragedies happen, people show up and we help out. So we really want to thank our neighboring agencies who's given. Hope your microphones are okay with water. Step that down, would you, Chase? Just stand up. Or not. Yes, those assets are still in the air. Okay, if there's no other questions, thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Anything to add? Okay, again, I want to thank all of our law enforcement assets. This is a tremendous tragedy, and we're going to find this guy one way or the other. Okay? Thank you.